leave it to you to run how you want to run it, questions or whatever.
Yeah.
Over to you.
All right. So I thought I'd just do this one quite a bit informal and just answer questions. I mean, if you want me to, run through any systems or ClickFunnels or my advert, I can do it. Just share my screen. Oh yeah, go on, Phil.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Where can I get some wood preserver? Everywhere's sold out. Can't paint my fence.
we got some. Where did we get ours from? Wix, I think. But we had to order ours in advance. And then
Actually, to be honest, Phil, I think all our companies down here in North Devon have still got stock because everybody came down here 2 days ago. We had the whole world down in North Devon 2 days ago, so I think they came down here for your wood preservative.
All right. Screwfix, B&Q, everybody's out of it.
Right, I'll just start re-recording. Beyond that.
Yeah, so I was just going to do this one, slightly more informal. And then if you guys had any questions or anything you want me to take a look at, just fire them away and I can run through things.
Yeah, Brad, Steve, can I ask a non-wood preserver related question?
Yeah,
to kick us off. My Facebook page hasn't really got that many followers. I'm just around about 600.
Yeah.
Are there? Can you give any advice as to how I might increase that number?
Yeah, sure. So you can get page likes really, really cheap. So what was that?
What, you got to buy them?
Yeah. No. Well, kind of.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you can run a page like advert to get page likes. Now, to do that effectively, you want to set the world as your target, right? So this is like a double-edged sword. This is great if you want to boost page likes on your page, but terrible if you want to use your page to promote your business, So I very rarely use my page to promote my business now, but I've got, nearly 14,500 people like my page. So I've already got that authority kind of built in there. Mm-hmm. But what you can do is just run a page like advert, set it to target the world, worldwide, not just the UK, and you'll get page likes for like 10 pence a like, something like that, cheaper. So you can get 1,000 page likes relatively cheap.
And you can set a budget for that, can you?
Yeah, you can set a budget for that.
Yeah.
And it's really, I'm laughing because I know what you like. The advert to run is like, all you got to do, and it's really counterintuitive, is just put like a love heart, like an image of a love heart or something.
Yeah.
I just have like for the feeling, or follow the page to share the feeling. Something incredibly cheesy like that, and you'll be inundated with page likes.
I saw this done, and the advice was you set it to worldwide, but then you also exclude UK and Europe and America.
Yeah.
Because in the Far East they go nuts, and they said you create a post, create an image with just one line of text, one short line, no more than 5 words.
Yeah.
Bright yellow background, black text, and it's like as Brad was saying, something like share the love or something like that, and you get millions of clicks on this thing, and then after 3 days, it makes your page look really popular. You then turn on the UK, and then you start getting the likes from the UK. Unfortunately, you can't get shut of the old ones though that you don't want.
Yeah. So it depends what you want to do. I mean, if you don't want to do that, because I haven't done that. And if you still want people to like your page, the easiest thing to do is whenever I run an advert, I might run a post engagement advert at the same time. So a general post engagement advert might get a couple hundred likes on it, and then I'll invite everyone on that post to like my page, and that's at the minute I'm still growing my page.
That mass way of getting thousands of likes. Yeah. I mean, is there any real advantage to that apart from just saying I've got loads of likes? It doesn't get you any work, does it?
It's down to authority. That's the only thing. So authority is it's all psychological based. And years ago, it used to be a big thing where if I was looking for a business or other businesses were advertised on Facebook, I'd look at how many page likes the page had to deem how big the business were, you know, or how established the business was. So in the early days, it was really easy to get thousands of page likes. Now my page grows by like 1,000 a year. And that's kind of static. You know, years ago, we were growing by 3 and 4. It were really quick for a short period of time. It just helps build authority, you know.
Right.
And it's sometimes if your adverts are struggling slightly, it may just be down to that. I mean, I've got another business that I run adverts for, and that my page for that has about 6 page likes. And I still convert and get leads for it. So page likes definitely plays a part, but it's not the be all and end all
Right.
if an advert's, you know, successful or not.
I've just tried to do this for free using my friends on Facebook, sending a message out asking them to share with their friends and to where to go and click.
Yeah.
I've had it did it the other day. I've had about 20 so far.
Yeah.
But the lady who gave it to me, she increased from 200 or 300 to 2,000 very quickly. And those friends might be useful because those are people with like-minded thinking and spending habits.
Yeah.
Although they might be in a different location, but you could try that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the only issue you have is if you use any words like, comment, share in any advert or any post, Facebook have a tendency to flag it. User, what's the word? Poor user engagement. So it's something like that, and they'll either slow your post down or cancel it altogether. I mean, at the minute, I know of people it's happened to, but it's not happened to anybody in the photography space. Is that Facebook have a serious amount of bots? So Facebook's understaffed. So the bots are doing all the page checkups. So I know I've a lot of friends who are having the pages shut down or cancelled. So that's something I've not known happen in the photography space. Just down to nobody's spending enough money. You know, nobody's spending $1,000, US dollars or £1,000 a day for it to flag. But if you use language like that, to enter this competition, all you got to do is comment and share. Stuff like that, it flags the page.
Right. Cool. Good.
Morning, Jane.
Morning. Sorry, I
No
couldn't get in
problem, darling.
upstairs, so that's come downstairs.
No problem. More questions, gents, ladies? All right. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. Brad, you might need to do a bit of talking around various areas to spark what we don't know, because it's what we don't know is what we need to know. But as we don't know it, we can't ask the questions.
I did run a
right.
Facebook advert the other day following some of the things, the hints and tips that you gave, and I've got to admit, I let it go into trial it, and I was quite pleased on how it went. So,
Okay, great. Well, what did you do?
I mean, I've never done a Facebook advert totally from scratch on my own before, so I took my time doing it, and I had it, but I didn't set it going because I thought, well, it's supposed to be the right time. But then you did say it's probably a good time to do it, so I just set it going, and I did it as a lead generation ad.
Yep.
Yeah, it did as well as I wanted it to do anyway.
Yeah, great. What
What was the subject, Selena?
I did it for newborn photo shoots. I wasn't going to set it going until I knew when we were definitely going to get going again. But in the end, I thought, well, I'm only trialing it. I only put it on at £5 maximum a day, and I only ran it for, I think, 8 hours. So it only cost me, was it £3.58? But I got 14 leads from it. And then I did switch it off because I thought, well, hang on just a minute. I don't actually want them just yet. It was interesting because I was hoping that some of the people that were booking on it would be later on in the year. But when I came across the due dates, they were all sort of like due now or in the next month. So I actually switched it off because I thought, well, to be honest, I've got such a backlog. I actually don't particularly want them just yet.
Yeah. Have you phoned any of them? Have you booked anybody in? Or? Do you have a response from any of them?
I phoned them all. Well, no. One of them I'd already got on my books anyway, so she was irrelevant. Two of them, let's just say I could tell that I didn't want them.
Yeah.
And then all the others I phoned up, and they're all, yeah, great. Put me in, give me due dates, give me all the details I wanted, and they're on my systems now. So.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
great.
Well, that proves that advert's going to work for you, Selena.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted to trial it. I wanted to be able to do an advert myself, which I've never done because I've lost a lot of baby fares through obviously everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm going to have to get my head around Facebook advertising. But for under £4, and I've got 11 new shoots from it. I thought that was quite good going. But I did it as the high volume content. Did you say to do it?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
To add that extra question in.
Yeah.
But when I trialed it a couple of times. The first time it threw it out because I'd asked for the baby's date of birth.
Yeah.
But then I redid it again, same question, but I just tweaked the way I asked it.
Yeah.
And then it pushed it through. For some reason, it didn't like me asking the date of birth, but it didn't. I still got it because I said, I can't remember what I put in, but it was something like, "Can you tell me if your baby's been born? How?" I can't remember the wording, but I tweaked the wording and it went through.
Yeah. Facebook flags stuff like that because they view it as discrimination. So it's an interesting one, and it happened to me a long time ago with CPA adverts. I couldn't include age ranges of people that were allowed to take part. Facebook would flag it as discrimination. But yeah, you just got to be careful.
You can get around it with wording though, can't you? I think I said what's your due date, or how old is your baby now, or something like that. I can't remember the wording, but it got round it.
Yeah, it's Facebook just use bots to flag all that. So as long as you don't use the words they're looking for, you can sneak past it all. But yeah, go on, Alan. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that's really good for Selena.
Yeah, I was pleased with it. I was pleased. Yeah, like I say, it gave me 14, but it probably was 11 that I actually were good ones that I wanted. But yeah, I was pleased with that, and it only cost me, like I say, under £4 anyway.
So Brad, I updated the one after our conversation, and I updated the one that was already running rather than creating a new one. And where it wasn't getting no leads before, I managed to get 3.
Okay.
One of which is converted, one of which I rang up because they said now, and it was clearly not my customer because she said, "I thought it was free." But I've spent 35 quid for only 3 leads, so I've got something special I need to look. And poor old Alan's been trying to guide me through this one, and it's something peculiar to me.
Yeah.
It's not just you, Peter. You're not peculiar just to me. You're peculiar.
You're peculiar anyway.
So when going back to this advert, so when I want to run it again, do I just literally flick the button to switch it back on again? Or am I best duplicating it and running it again?
Yeah, so this is where every question I get asked on Facebook is always a yes and a no. So yeah, you can do that, but what that does is it never goes back into the same vein of traffic that you stopped it at. They only ran it for like a couple of hours. So turning it on again, it might not make much of a difference, but I'd always take best practice just to duplicate the ad set. So go into the campaign, duplicate the ad set, and set that live. That way you're doing it completely afresh again. Because when you run an advert and you stop it and then you start it again, Facebook kind of move you down the traffic, and you go through that learning phase all over again.
So duplicate it and then run it again, right?
Yeah,
okay.
just duplicate it out and then run it all over again.
And a tip. Sorry, Brad. I was going to say, and a tip that Mark Swinford brought up a little while ago, I think you were in agreement with it, is never stop it. If you're going to run the advert on repeated times, Selena, just reduce it to £1 a day or £5 over a maximum period that you can do it, because it's gaining data all the time. you know, I've done that with the NHS one, and I've gone back to £1 a day, and it's still producing tremendous results. But it's
Right.
collecting information all the time. As soon as you turn it off, you know, you, like Brad said, you then lose that information, and you got to completely restart again. So, when you got an advert that you know works, just keep it ticking over, and you know, it isn't going to cost you a lot, but it will bring in leads. And at the same time, like Brad and Mark said, because they're much more, they know marketing a lot better than I do. When they want to then push that particular advert, then put the money in again, and then reduce it back to nothing, you know, very, very small again. Just never turn it off.
How do you know what to set the daily figure at on how much to spend? I know it depends on how much work you get, but
I mean, if you're doing that, just say it to £1 a day. I have a load of stuff on £1 a day. Most of them are videos that run in the background, but my main adverts will go out at like £20, £25 a day, something like that. But spend whatever you're happy spending. You know, if you get 11 sessions from £4, I wouldn't worry about. You know,
I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, so that's
It would be interesting for me to run it again to see again if it's people that are looking for these type of newborn shoots in, I don't know, 7 months time sort of thing, or is it people that are due now? From what I've got, there was 1 or 2 that was like October and December time, but most of them were like June, July.
I think there'll be plenty in 7 months' time, to be honest. It's just about the right.
Yeah.
What was the offer you ran your newborn ad?
It was a newborn shoot and a print, and they just had to pay a deposit for securing the place.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was just interesting to see how soon they'd be wanting it. But I'd have to run it several times because I'm, you know, it's the first time that I've run it. So, you know, to see, ideally I was hoping that I would be capturing people that would be wanting it in several months, but it didn't happen that way. But still, anyway, pleased with that.
Where in the country are you, Selena?
Northwest, Lancashire.
All right.
Selena, you could run it. You know, are you due to have a baby from September on, type of thing, and specifically run it that it's targeted for a month coming up, rather than are you know, due a baby now? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, get you.
That way, then you might be able to start filling your diary with people that are due in 2, 3, 4, 5 months, rather than everybody just coming up to you that they're due at the moment. So, you know, maybe wording your thing like that. Just change it.
Or if you want to book people in October, November, December, just put that in the advert. Just say, you know, we're now taking bookings for October, November, December.
Yeah, I've seen some other photographers that have put that down, that they're now taking bookings for later on in the year.
Yeah, and just use that language, and you'll filter people there, and you'll get people message if you're taking bookings, you know, before then or after then as well. But it kind of just focuses people in.
Right, can I ask another question, please?
Yeah, sure.
I've had a play around with Spark recently, and managed to finally get a little slideshow of about a dozen images up, which seems to be you know, getting some attention. I didn't do it. It's not a lead ad. It's I put it up and then I boosted it just to see. The only reason I boosted it because I couldn't find any way for it to be on my timeline and have a button so that people could message me. Now I know they can message me from the top of the page, but what I did was I linked it to a Jotform reply.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any way of linking a boosted ad or boosted post, I should say, to one of your lead ad forms? Because I don't particularly like the Jotform one. It's a bit kind of you know, clunky. Whereas if they go to one of your own forms, it tends to come up pretty quick.
Yes and no.
Right. Oh yeah, there it is again.
Yeah, using Facebook lead ads, no. So any post you put on your main Facebook page, if you click on the post and you click on the time and date stamp, it opens up and you'll get your page post ID at the top.
Right.
You can copy that, and then when you create a new advert, you can select use existing, and you paste that in, and it will use that use the same advert for you basically
As a lead ad.
Yeah, but a lead ad won't work with it.
No.
Just how lead ad, every other ad works apart from lead ad. Well, last time I tried it, every other ad works apart from lead ad. It's just how the advert. It's just a code lead ad. Yeah, because you click on it, it opens up. It's not like a button. Because most Facebook ads just operate on a button, and that's really easy to make interchangeable. Whereas lead ad is a form that pops up, so you'd have to create an entirely new form for it. I mean, you can give it a go. It's been a long time since I ran a lead ad, but if you want to do the same thing, you can. I do the same thing, but with ClickFunnels. I mean, you don't need to use that. You can use any other landing page and do the same thing. If you're using a landing page, though, you'd want to run the advert as either a conversion advert, just to get the best out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I created this just because I was playing around with Spark for pretty much the first time, and was quite surprised I'd actually managed to create something after a little bit of messing around. And it looks, I mean, you know, it looks quite impressive to have on there, and I'm sure it will get better as I get my head around it. And then I thought, well, you know, I really want people to respond to this, and I couldn't find a way of adding a button other than to boost it. So I then, as I say, I linked it to the Jotform sort of landing page.
Yeah.
My website is not, as it's very old, and that's being redone. So I'm waiting for that to be in a position where I can add landing pages to that, I guess, and make it a lot easier. Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Steve, you can add a button on one of those posts. I put one on after the good training we get by Morag. I managed to put a button in my NHS one that I did, similar to the way that Morag had done it. I know that Morag doesn't want to put the button in it because she tracks. Sorry, it's my wife's birthday today, so she's getting calls from everywhere. Hopefully she will answer that. Or if somebody else can ask a question and I'll come back. No, she's taking it. That's good. So I've forgotten where I was now. Yes, I'll put the button in. Because I'm not, at the moment, I'm not tracking anything. I haven't got any pixels set up, so I'm not tracking my website. So I can put the button wherever for now. Can you put the button into the video if you're not tracking your website with pixels?
Yeah, you can put a button on. I mean, with that post, Steve, when you open it to edit it, there's like there's a button that says, "Would you like to add a button?" Basically, you can add like a send message button or a traffic link, stuff like that. It's just in like the post editor. You can turn posts into polls or add images, send links. I don't know what you meant, Peter, by pixels and buttons.
So yeah, but I didn't explain that particularly well with the phone call coming. So everybody on here, apart from me, I think has got a, and I don't know the right term, but there's a pixel that you include in your website that you then get the traffic from it. I don't have that today. Morag was explaining the other day that she didn't want to use the Spark page because she loses that traffic. She wants that on her page. Therefore, she wouldn't be putting a button on her page. Therefore, I was thinking that Steve could add a button to his Spark video if he didn't worry about the pixel.
So the button on the Spark video could go to your website, so you would get that traffic.
Yeah.
You? That's why I made it on my website rather than just the Spark page, just to keep the traffic in my website. But there's no reason you couldn't put a button on any of those to direct you to the website, I think.
But that was a slideshow you did, Steve, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Is that still the same, Morag?
Good question. I'm going to have a little play now and tell you, because on the end of the slideshows, I think there is a way you can put a button on them on the Spark slideshows, but I will come back to you. I'll have a play.
Yeah, I may have missed
everyone,
that.
by the way. Sorry, I came in late.
That's no problem. No,
I've got another question, if I may, Bradley.
Yeah, of course.
On the lead gen advert, where you've got an image, it only allows you to create I think you either create a static image or you create a video image based on Facebook making that up. You can't put a video in, and you can't put a GIF in, and you can't link it. There's no way of actually putting a video on a lead ad, is there? As the main image.
I don't know. I mean, I'd assume so. I think you should be able to. I mean, I haven't ran a lead ad in a long time.
Right.
I probably have to have a fiddle around and have a look in there. But I mean, a lot of the times you'll be fine with static images. You know, I keep it simple with the static image.
Yeah.
I use a few video slideshows for a few of my ads, but I only do that to mitigate ad fatigue because I'm running them quite often. But I wouldn't worry about.
I was only trying to experiment to see if I could get better leads. That was all. So it was an experiment thing I was going to do.
Yeah.
But I struggled.
Yeah, I mean, if you're ever running tests, the best things to test are your offer, like the advert copy, and then static images. You know, you'd be surprised at what different images, stop people scrolling. It's that what grabs their attention. Videos are great, but you need to have a really great image on the front of that video for it to play. And a lot of the times people, I mean, if it's just a slideshow, people just stop at your image post.
Yeah.
Stop at that image, read the post, and decide if they're going to click or not. So you generally only have a few seconds with anybody.
Okay. I apologise for the elephant that came to the room then.
You cannot call your wife an elephant.
I did.
Peter, I just looked at the slideshow in Spark, and I don't think there is a way to do a button. When you put text on it, I don't see any way to turn that into a button. So that might be it. You'd have to be in the post. It would have to be below the Facebook post or something. But I might be wrong. I'm quite new to Spark as well, but that's where I've got.
Yeah, but you are a bright spark.
Yeah. You'll be right.
Moving on. Other questions?
Yeah. Can I take it back to what we were talking about earlier about the page-like things?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got under 400. I've got about 355. So I think I've invited my friends, but I haven't got that many friends either. So it's not says something about me, I know. But if I was going to do the worldwide thing, could you sort of explain again what you were saying about just do like a heart or something?
Yeah, so it's I mean, the people you're targeting are people most likely in India, Southeast Asia, Africa. So you want to exclude westernized countries,
right?
And then what you want is just something really basic. So it's like an image with text on it, because I mean your page like adverts are set up completely different to normal adverts,
Sure.
and it just wants to say something like, like to share the feeling, and just have a love heart. And it sounds really simple, but
just the numbers game then, really.
It is, because traffic in those countries is incredibly cheap. And if you actually have a look at, I mean, you've got ads library and page transparency. So if you have a look at who was doing it that I found, Susan Stripling. If I'm it's either Susan Stripling or Kelly Brown. They're like photographers who run adverts, who run courses and workshops and things like that. I'll have a look at their page transparency a while ago, and one of them was running a page like advert out to just Nigeria and India to boost page likes. Right. So a lot of people are doing it, and it just builds that authority.
Sorry, I've come in late. What's the benefit when they're not anywhere near you? I can't see the benefit at all.
It just
the numbers.
Authority. Yeah, it's just for the numbers. So it just boosts authority,
No.
So
Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, in essence.
What they were saying was if you get a a large increase of people outside of Europe, America, and UK for 3 or 4 days, you can then add Europe, UK, and America to the list of getting more people, and you will then get more people from your area and the local areas looking at your site as having bigger followings, or thinking that you are of a bigger business or so on.
Yeah,
I mean, people being any good for your business, probably not. But they.
So you think you're going to eventually get in front of more people in your local area? You mean?
Yeah, it's more just down to build authority. That's all it is.
Right.
To have a page with a lot of likes on it. You know, a lot of the photographic educators do run a lot of page like adverts because they kind of one up each other. In essence, and these are pages that have like 60,000 people like them.
Yeah.
You know, so they're just wanting to stamp out a bit more authority. Yeah. And I don't know. You see, I haven't tested this because I don't have another Facebook page. Well, I don't have another, Stan plus Stan 2 account that's got 100 page likes. If I had, I could run a test ad to see what would convert more. But I think it's quite hard for somebody to see your page likes as it is. Before it used to be right at the top of the page when you clicked on it. Now it's really hidden. And even when you're running adverts, your page likes don't show up. You know, you'll get your advert in front of you, and you'll have your call to action on it, whatever that may be. And once you've done that, you're in that funnel system. I mean, if somebody wants to click off and click on your business to do, to have a look at you, they can do. But 9 times out of 10, I think most people just click your advert and follow through. That then look for that authority. But it's there if you want it. If you want to build, it's cheap as well. I mean, you can always try.
Isn't it better to have likes of people that you're going to be able to market to?
Yeah, yes and no. So it's if you put a post out on Facebook now, into your normal Facebook page, it's hard to get engagement on that. Facebook have really limited organic growth. They did that a few years ago. So whenever I'm posting out to my normal page, and I do it quite often, I share it and I'll boost it. They're the only boosted posts I run just to get out to the people in my page. I run a Facebook group as well, which is something that's worthwhile doing. So if you wanted to have a page to build authority, you can do. And then I've got a ladies only boudoir group where I've got 1,000 people in there. So that's just clients. So past clients.
Is that like a harem?
Yeah, basically.
Are you boosting your share that you're doing, or are you boosting the original page?
What for the group?
Yeah, when you said you put a post out, then you do a share, then you do a boost.
Yeah. What I meant to say was I boosted it. So I'll put a post out to my normal Facebook page, and then I'll boost that to get out to my audience. But I've built a Facebook. You see, so when Facebook stopped organic traffic, everyone set a Facebook group up because Facebook groups were like the in thing. They were very popular. Every time you posted, somebody would get a notification. You'd get a load of great content in there. They're pulling all those features back at the minute. So in the next a few months, year, you'll be having to pay to advertise to your own group. And I'm sure there'll be something new in the future. But Facebook groups are great. I use it as like a staging ground. As like when somebody books a boudoir shoot, I throw them in the I put them in the boudoir group, and if they've got any questions, I encourage them to ask in the group. And it's not us who answer; it's a load of all our past clients answer. So it's great for building trust, because that's kind of what our business is. Well, that's what boudoir is. There's a load of trust based in that.
Annex and games room. 1.5 acres of land is the adverse of that swimming pool. Olivia and Brett want to take the plunge.
I like this property a lot. Beautiful interior.
Who's got a telly on?
That TV.
It's on TV, Dan.
Sorry. Question.
Go on, Brad, answer that one.
I was going to say, I was listening and I was thinking, that doesn't sound like any of the men that were in front of us. I
think what?
Yeah. I've got some rubbish to go in it, that's all.
Any more questions? So hang on, going back. So Richard, do you understand what that was all about?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, I've sort of never really bothered to try and increase the sort of likes and stuff, but I don't know. I'm still not convinced whether it's actually going to be a worthwhile thing, you know. But
Yeah,
it's just a vanity thing, really, isn't it? Just to show you got.
Richard, you know when you put a post on Facebook and people like it,
Yeah.
do you invite those people to like your page?
Not immediately. Every so often, I go into the invite friends thing and tick all the boxes that haven't liked it, and you know, you get a few more like that. But there's not that many to begin with, so yeah, it's just something I thought, well, maybe like a quick boost of getting a couple of thousand more in might. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it can't do you any harm, even if they don't, you know, become a customer, can they? Would you agree, Brad? It just it would just make you look as though you had a larger following, so that, you know, your local people would think you've got more following in your local area. That's the only way I can see it being.
Yeah. Does it impact the fact that if you've got like thousands of them, like all around the world, Facebook doesn't show your post to everyone, does it? So,
but it doesn't show your post to anybody at the moment. You know, it all depends on if you want to build interaction on your page with people in your local area. You know, if you're advertising out to the rest of the world to build that brand awareness, then you kind of, you know, negating that. But I mean, have you ran adverts? Are adverts not converting? Is that why you're thinking about?
Yeah, I did. No, I've done some adverts. No, some of them pretty good. I was quite pleased with. Others weren't, but I've only been sort of advertising probably about just under a year. You know. And like obviously not for the last few months anyway. But yeah, I mean that brought. I mean, when I started doing it, I had about 200 likes, and it's sort of gone up to about 355 now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'm looking at other people, and they've got like 20,000 and 11,000. You know, I realise they're not all customers or even people who know who they are. You know.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And I'd just run your adverts, and I'd focus on getting them to convert, and then slowly build your page from there. I mean, they've got a large amount of likes because Facebook were like a land grab. It was just a big land grab in the early days, you know, and it was really easy to get page likes. And it's one of the things that if you know, if I go back in time, I'd spend a significant amount more money on Facebook, you know, and I probably have around 50,000 people like my page right now. But you know. So I won't worry too much about it. I'd focus on the adverts and, you know, getting bookings in. And then if you've got issues with that, I'd just, you know, I think getting more people to like your page, there's other things you can focus on. You know, that'll impact your business more, you know, more beneficial than getting, you know, a couple of thousand page likes.
Isn't that more important, having followers in Twitter and Instagram, if you're actually an influencer, which is, we're not doing that. We're just trying to sell to people.
Yeah, I mean, I use Instagram, but not majorly. A lot of my adverts sit on Instagram, but they don't get much traction. Algorithm pushes it all towards Facebook, but I'm guessing that's probably down to my target demographic.
Yeah. But the point being is that if you would push up your followers and your likes in Twitter and Instagram if you were an influencer. So if you were trying to sell wares of other people, not a photographer, and that's where the likes and the grabbing as many people has gone to now, isn't it?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Influencers get paid on, you know, well they get brand deals depending on how many people like them, you know, and the demographics of those people who like them. Basically,
yeah.
I mean, I've got a friend who's ran influencer marketing. He doesn't run a studio; he runs like a digital marketing agency. So I've not ran any influencer marketing for my own studio. I've thought about doing it, but there's not awful lot of cost control in that. You know, you might be paying somebody £1,000 to run some posts on their social media for you to promote your business, and you can even get them into the studio to come have a shoot. So you're giving them a product and you're paying them, and then you've got no real control over who comes in. You know, what happens to stop and start that. You know, it's okay spending £1,000 on Facebook, but that's a gradual build-up. It's not like just a one-off hit in a day. So I've played around with it. I probably will end up paying some influencers sometime in the future, but not at the moment. I can let you all know how it goes.
I know quite a lot of people who've done it with holiday properties, because I've got a place in Spain, and everybody says they've been completely stung by the influencers. I haven't heard anything good's come from it. Nobody's got any business from it. They've kind of left the place in a real mess, broken rules, and they haven't got any bookings afterwards. So, I mean, it might be the influencers, of course, that they chose, but it certainly didn't work for them in that context. And that's a number.
You have to be really careful with it, and you have to pick somebody who's local to you, you know, who actually does it. See, a lot of people have followers on Facebook, not, you know, or Instagram, because they've bought them, you know, and they can flag that influencer card to get free shit. And I've had people come to my studio and say the same stuff. You know, I've got 3,000 people on Insta. You know, I've got 40,000 people on Instagram. You know, kind of an album for free. Tell them to jog on. But if you're doing it and doing it paid, you have to do it with somebody who actually has, who does it professionally and does it for a living. That's what my friend did with his digital marketing agency. So, you got to be really careful with it. And even then, the return on spending isn't great. I think the average is for every $1 you spend, you get $6 back with influencer marketing. So, like, in essence, like if you base it on that return on investor, it's, you know, Facebook's a lot cheaper. You know, Facebook's got a significantly higher ROI. But, you know, it's just something to look at.
Could I ask a pixel question, if you know the answer?
Yeah.
So I've got 3 different websites with different pixels on, and I've been putting off doing my Facebook ads because I don't know what, I'm holding myself back or something, but I'm really ready to do it. And I've just gone on to put an ad together, and the pixel's coming up for my place in Spain, not for my site, and I have no idea how to swap it. I've just been trying. Is that something that's that you can help with really easily? I'm sorry if it's boring everyone else.
Oh, no, so what is a pixel registering a different country?
So basically I've got 3 pixels on different websites, so it's my Casa Isadora one that's coming up rather than my business one. So I don't know how to swap it. There's no way to swap it here. It just seems to say, do you want to show the pixel or not? If I turn it off and turn it back on again, it just brings that pixel up. So I wouldn't know how to lodge other pixels with Facebook.
Okay, so do you have access to the other 2 pixels on that page?
On that page, no, it's just 1 pixel registered in Facebook, it looks like. So I'm guessing I can register other pixels.
Yeah, so if you can have multiple pixels.
Yeah.
So are you in Events Manager?
No, I actually just went to see how easy boosting a post was, and that's where it came up. So I'm actually in a post boost at the moment.
Okay.
Don't worry if it's going to be too fiddly. And
no. I mean, if you can go into Events Manager and open your main pixels page, what may happen is like if you're running multiple adverts, so you've got multiple pixels and multiple ad accounts, it'll default to a pixel or default to an ad account, and you can click on like an arrow to select the one you want to choose. So it does it for me a lot because I've got multiple Facebook pages.
So Events Manager, and then I'm just jotting it down, and I'll have a play afterwards.
If you go into Events Manager, and in Events Manager, you've got all your pixels tabs there.
Brilliant. Okay.
And there should be, if you've got multiple, they all should be there.
Okay.
Would it have picked up the last pixel you used then, Brad?
Yeah, it has. It has. The last time I ran an ad, it was for the house. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, thanks. I'll have a play. I'm sure I can manage it.
And it'll default it as well to whatever the newest one you added. So for me, a lot of the times it's not Stand for Stand 2. It's John Page, which is like a page I run adverts from for property and stuff. But yeah, it's annoying, but yeah.
Okay, I'll have a play. Thank you.
Peter, you were asking about pixels. Do you understand them, what you've got to do with them and so on?
I think I need to go and do a bit of work. So I've got a rough idea in my head where they fit, but I need to go and do a bit of work to see where it is and where I put it, and then I'll probably have specific questions. I've got a specific question, I'm afraid, again, Brad, back to the original, where we were talking before about the post and boost.
Yeah.
I understand the principle of that. What I was trying to get my head around is what you were trying to do at the time and what the result you wanted. So I can picture in my mind what kind of post I'm going to be doing that with.
Okay, so whatever I post on my main Facebook page, I normally boost. So if I'm posting stuff on my normal Facebook page, it might be like a testimonial or a review, or what we're up to in the studio, you know, or I mean, a few popular things. My dad's had some of his work in a local art gallery, so it's stuff like that. And I'll boost that, and I'll, you know, it's not a lot. I pay like £15 on it just to get it round, just for branding. That's all I do that for. So okay. I just use it as branding. I don't do it to get work in. I just do it to I don't know, you know, still be in front of mind for a lot of people.
Yeah. And when you say your main page, you mean your business page, not your personal page?
Yeah, business page. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything on my personal page that relates back to my work. So a long time ago, that's a few years ago, I knew a guy who ran his business page from his personal page. So he never used to run Facebook ads. He used to create personal posts on his page, his business. And that's a very quick way to get your page banned and get you removed from advertising. So yeah, I mean, you're welcome to share posts, but I don't think that really does an awful lot. You're much better with paid advertising.
Yeah.
Any more questions about paint or anything, Phil?
No. Has it got pixels in the paint?
Right, it depends. If you're painting a toadstool, it might have. Selena, anything?
No, I can't think of anything.
Jane?
No questions from me.
All right.
I have to say I found these sessions really, really useful. I find it difficult to figure out what I need to... I know I need to do marketing, and I know I need to plan to do it, but I can't get my head around what it is. And as we go through more of these, I'm getting to understand now how it all fits together, so I can come up with those things. So yeah. I really appreciate everything you're doing, guys. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome.
It's willing to give their time, Peter, like Brad, that we can all learn from. And, you know, they've done it on a larger scale so they can scale back, but they understand our levels, which is brilliant. And, you know, for people like Brad and other people that have done workshops for us, we can only thank them because, you know, they're all experienced and so on. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm waiting for one from Phil, but it's probably going to be on watching paint dry when he can get it. Or something like
it dries really quick.
Be a quick workshop then, Phil, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say this is more of a comment than a question, but I mean, I've been in business long enough to have been doing adverts in newspapers years ago.
What's
and when you think of any of you that have done that, how much we were paying for you know, an advert, an eighth of a page perhaps, which, you know, your local paper, which you were, you know, lucky if somebody actually turned to that page and then read the ad and then bothered to respond to it, and you were paying, you know, probably a few £100. When you think you can compare that with what we're paying now for Facebook, it's just amazing, you know, that what you can get from a, you know, relatively, well, yeah, definitely a cheap advert. You know, spend a few quid and you're getting, you know, even if you're paying £7 or £8 per lead, it's still damn sight cheaper than what we were paying. And then again with Yellow Pages, you know, we were kind of ripped off really by those people.
Yeah.
I used to sell advertising space.
Oh.
Hang on, I'm just going to mute you. I didn't realise that, Jane. That's the end of you now, Jane. That's like being a tax man. That's worse than being a
It's one of those ones as well.
Oh, right. Hang on a minute.
Don't
But
tell
no-
me you've been a traffic warden as well.
No.
No,
You are right, Steve. What we used to spend, I mean, is it 16% of your turnover should be on marketing? Is that roughly the percentage, Brad? 12, 16?
yeah, ish. 10%, something like that. I mean, I what do we spend? Ours is probably just under 10%, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Facebook keeps it cheap. I mean, years ago, but it were a lot more. Well, it were a lot cheaper with Groupon, and then a lot more expensive with all the other stuff we used to do. But I did a webinar with in BSA, which is a business I'm running at the minute with Jonathan and Ronan. All about like Back to the Future style marketing. It were like, all the stuff we did 10, 15 years ago. We're doing the same stuff now, just digitally.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same offers. The adverts we're putting in a newspaper, or we were doing door to door, you know, or we were doing a black box in a supermarket. It's the same stuff. And I've got it here from when I did it. That's the portrait voucher we sent out door to door. So it's just a £10,000 family portrait giveaway. You know.
Surely, Brad, you were still at school 15 years ago, weren't you?
Years ago, I was 10. Yeah, but I'm in the business. But my dad had shit. It was my job, my Saturday job, to put all these together.
But I did exactly the same. I posted door to door when I opened the studio, and for brand awareness, though, it was phenomenal. I mean, I met people years later doing something in the school or something, and they still had my flyer from a few years before that come from the door. But then they saw me again, saw the logo, and booked. So it worked, you know.
Well, it's the same thing. The message on the advert is just the same that I've used. You know, I'm still doing it's not £10,000. I'm still doing a family portrait giveaway. I sit that on Facebook. It's significantly cheaper than doing it door to door, and Jesus, it's a lot less work. I mean, in those days, you used to have to. Now, if you're doing a door to door now, Royal Mail pick it up from you. But back then, you used to have to drive it to one of their depot areas. Our closest one was Pontefract. So I know it's not that far, but still, it's like a 40-minute drive there, and then like an hour drive to work, dropping off 10,000 leaflets. So
you were talking about that Back to the Future. Go on, Richard.
Sorry, I was going to say I think it's relative because I mean, like when I had my studio and going back about 20 years ago, we spent about 10, 11 grand a year on Yellow Pages, but we got a lot of work from it. You know, it was a big source of work, and I suppose we were like made sure we were one of the biggest adverts for photographers in that section. So a lot of other people probably couldn't afford to spend that much, but now Facebook is cheap, but everyone can afford it really. So you've got to make it effective, haven't you?
I think for all those RMGers that are still with it or have left, did you have the handbook? And in the handbook 2 years ago, I produced a Back to the Future. Did that 2 years ago, and it's got all of the stuff in there, like Brad was saying, but it's now linked to social media and relative ways.
Yeah.
And it all works. It definitely all works. And it's just going through it step by step, really, point by point, and looking and thinking, well, I can use that now, or adapt that and use that or whatever.
Yeah, it's just Facebook's just a tool, you know. It's just what I'm marketing on. And whatever platform it is in the future, I'm using Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. You know, God help me. I'll be able to run adverts on it because it's just the same stuff. You know, I've been doing it all for years. It's just you put it on Facebook now and make it all digitally. I don't think digital marketing is going anywhere. I think digital marketing is going to be here forever, and it'll just evolve over time.
Just be on different platforms.
Yeah,
I think so. I think you're right, because I think that, you know, the paper was around for a long time, whether that be newspaper, magazines, or whatever.
Yeah.
Sort of moved on to, you know, the telephone books, as Richard was saying about Yellow Pages and things like that. Went on to radio, and now it's all gone to social media, and everybody's got access to it. I think that's the difference. Like Richard said just now, if you could afford to pay big, you stood out more. Whereas on social media, I think anybody can now participate for smaller amounts of money, can't they?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's better. Well, it's better doing it now because I mean, the fear with Facebook's been the same fear it's been for years. Is that big advertisers will eventually jump on the platform and, you know, swallow up all your money. That's happening already. You know, people are on Facebook spending £10,000 a day. You know, selling stuff. So we'll never compete with that. But as long as, you know, we're marketing in a small local area, you know, as long as we get our offer right and our audience right, we'll be fine, you know.
Also, the other thing is that those people that are spending £10,000 a day aren't necessarily going for our audience, are they?
No. Facebook do a really great job. It's why I run a lot of conversion stuff. All my adverts now based off the pixel because, you know, gone are the days of running a boosted post or post engagement and getting great results from it. You know, it's just, you know, you got to move forward with it.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. Any other questions, ladies and gents? Great, Brad. You're a star. Right, we'll hook you up again another day, Brad, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, what I think would be really good is, do you want to create a poll on the page, Alan, and get people interested on a topic, and then I can just present it and talk about it if you want.
Yep.
I'll do that. Just do questions on that.
Yep. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
I'll sort that out. Thanks again, Brad. Much appreciated, mate. You know how much we all appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, Alan.
Giving your time and so on.
Great, thanks. Yeah.
Appreciate you all coming on. And Phil, I hope you do get your wood stain, mate. I know.
Terrible. I use its fake tan as well.
I got my, to be honest, I got mine because I went to Homebase and I saw all the shelves were empty, so I couldn't get it. And then I was looking around the shop and somebody had randomly put one on the shelf somewhere. So I just grabbed it.
And that person's been running around the shop ever since looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
All right, I'm going to end the meeting on that, ladies and gents. We started it on wood stain and we end it on wood stain.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Speak to you soon. Look forward to seeing you all on Monday. Cheers, all.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.